everybody, it's time to LOL. Listen out loud, that is. It's time for Anime Jam Session with DJ Ranma S, Mako-chan, and Ari Rockefeller.
Hey everybody, welcome to Anime Jam Session, episode number 714. We are that podcast that talks about anime, games, conventions, the fandom, geek stuff, and everything in between. I'm DJ Ranma S. You're muted, my friend. There we go.
I'm Ari Rockefeller.
And I am Mako-chan.
And how's everybody doing tonight?
Yeah, sorry about that. I tried to pop out the the chat window from the second monitor to the first one, and it had an aneurysm on me.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, my machine did the same damn thing. It's like right after I switched it over to dual monitor mode. So for those of you who don't know or don't remember, I have a second monitor, but due to my limited real estate space, the second monitor sits on the floor. I only use this monitor once a week for the stream. So that's why it's there. The only thing is that I wish it was the same resolution as my current Acer monitor, but it is what it is. You can't complain when you get something for free. So yeah. But
it wasn't like the system itself. It was just the Discord window just looked like a broken, half-loaded web page for a second.
I mean, look, when I went to dual stream mode, everything just kind of flipped out. I was like, wait, what? Why are you doing this? This is not the time for it. Even though I know I could just do a quick reboot and be back up and running in under like 3 minutes, but still, you know? Meanwhile, Mako's giving her computer the look of, don't you even start. I just fixed you.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know. Honestly, I'm just glad it was the solid state drive and nothing else more. So,
yeah, everything seems to be good right now.
Yeah.
So
I do think we might have to swap out that interface, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Anywho, enough about that. Let's flip things over. We are live tonight, week of March 31st, 2026, right here on Twitch TV. We're here live Tuesdays from 9 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern. You will always find us at Twitch TV/Anime Jam Session for all of our podcasts and upcoming shows and specials that I'm kind of working on, even though I kept saying I have. I think I can actually carve out something that I want to do. So don't be too surprised in the coming weeks you see another show pop up on our stream. So, and if it does happen, please come through and check us out and show some support. Let's see what else do we have here. And also, we're proud to be part of the Voice of Geeks Network at vognetwork.com. And you can check them out at vognetwork.com. And they're also on Twitch with their shows, Twitch TV/vognetwork. They kick things off Sundays at 8 p.m. with the Bobby Blackwolf Show, followed by OLR2DX at 9. And they come hang out in our Discord, vognetwork.com/Discord. Every show that's part of the Voice of Geeks Network has their own channel. So come through, hang out, and have a really good time. So now that we got that out the way, we're going to go around the room and ask the rest of the squad, how was their week? How was their day? So Ari, how was your week and how was your day?
It wasn't all that, exciting, I'm afraid. I had work this past weekend, only on the weekends because, like I said, I took 2 extra days off after Zenkai.
Right.
And it did take me a little while to get back in into the groove of working, but other than that, it was just normal stuff at work.
That's good.
I also did get my work pants back from the cleaners because they had a big rip in it again, and they needed to fix it. This time, they actually put material in it to sew it up, so that so it wouldn't just split open when I sat down again.
I feel you on that, except that I don't have that problem anymore because I actually found a brand of slacks that don't do that, and it's the Old Navy brand. I
don't think they make those in my size though.
Yeah, check their website. That does happen, but it's like it takes a long period of time for the crotch area to kind of wear out. My issue is because of my wallet. The pocket that it's in, it starts to get a hole. And usually once there is a hole back there, I toss those slacks. Now, yes, I could patch them up. I could take them to the dry cleaners. But given how often Old Navy has their sales, and if you have an Old Navy card, there's always discount codes. In the long run, it just starts to be cheaper for me to just toss them and just buy another pair. And I'm kind of hoping that I can hold on a little while longer because I've gone from my 44 stretch pants to my 44s. I'm hoping that within maybe by the end of April, I can actually throw on my 42s. So, we'll see how that goes.
Rapid.
Mhm.
My brain stalled out after that. I forgot what I was going to talk about.
I will take blame for that because I kind of jumped in and started talking right after you. So that is my fault. So,
all right.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. Mako-chan, how was your week? How was your day?
Week was good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still recovering from this weekend.
I can see that.
So freaking tired. It was so cold on Saturday.
And don't you know the temperature went up to like 50s on Sunday?
Yeah, I know. And then even worse, today was in the 80s.
Yeah.
Where do you get this 80s BS from? It hit 68 when I got out of work tonight.
Today was in the 80s.
Oh, man, look, I'm looking at... man, it did not hit... It's not going to hit 80 here. The highest it hit right now is 64. That is wild. But tomorrow it's going to be 73. What the F?
Well, at least it's not snow.
Honestly, I kind of... It used to be where from March, around this time, all the way up to like maybe May or Mayish, beginning of June, it would just stay within 50. It would just be 50, going into 60, random spikes of 70, and it's nice, But if it's going to be like that, I can wear my other LTT jacket tomorrow. So, All right. Anywho, Mako, please continue.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the weather. Tomorrow's going to be 79 and rainy. And then Thursday goes back down to 45. And then Friday goes back up to 76.
The weather is schizophrenic.
You think?
Yeah. But, I mean, the weekend was fun.
Yeah.
It was like another convention on Saturday. Just with so much non-food related stuff,
Yeah.
I guess. And a decent amount of cosplayers, actually.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool. But yeah, it was very cold. But it was nice to walk around what we did of them all. I think if we were to do a full day, I would definitely want to rent one of the little carts. Just because of how big the frickin' mall is. The mall is freaking huge.
We would need, if we did that, we would need a video of you going around shouting, "Respect my authority!"
You don't think I wouldn't do that shit. I would fucking dress up as Cop Cartman and ride around on that cart screaming about respecting my authority.
At that point, I'm going to have to
Don't think I won't.
I'm going to have to call your mother and tell her, you're going to need bail money. And her response is, so what did she do this time?
All you gotta do is tell her that I'm cosplaying as my brother. She'll know exactly what I'm doing.
So at least we know there is actual bail money, because she probably has that script and save, because she knew one day her darling daughter would do something outrageous to be her brother.
Pretty much.
And please refresh the audience for those of you who don't know the in joke here.
So, one of the ways that my mother and I bonded when I was growing up is that every Wednesday night we would sit and we would watch South Park together. Yes, my mom is one of those moms that had no problem, one, with sitting down and me watching South Park, and two, her sitting down and watching South Park with me because she thought it was hilarious. Enough so that she started calling Cartman her son, calling me and him brother and sister, to the point that when, it was really popular to have various ringtones for each person that called you, my ringtone on her phone was Cartman singing Come Sail Away. Because she knew that every time her son started singing, it was me calling.
And then she would follow it up with, "Hello, my little hemorrhoid."
Pretty much. And yes, my mother calls me her little hemorrhoid.
Okay, all right. I have a side story about that. I gotta tell y'all. But anywho, my weekend day was basically the same with work and stuff. We had issues with the VPN, so kind of all heck broke loose at work last couple of days. So we kind of fixed that. But the event that Mako-chan is talking about is called Asian Dream Festival or Asian Food Festival. It's like one of the biggest Asian food festivals in the country, and they travel around. It's more like they will just rent a location and have local Asian eateries come out and try it, and that's really fun. And there was cosplay events. They had like a little section for kids to play. The one here, they actually had all of that, plus a little pop-up section for axe throwing, which was kind of cool. And they had giveaways for Anime NYC. The costume contest was okay. It was more like you come out and you just root it and you clap for who you like and so forth. There were some great winners, and I enjoyed that. I got some great photos, and to everybody that I met at the festival over this weekend, it was cool. It was great. I thank you for letting me take your photos. And those of you who reached out, I'm glad that you liked the photos I took of you. If you have my card, and if you want, hit me up. I will send you copies of the photos, because over the next couple of weeks, I will be going down and editing and processing these photos, because I don't like the fact that I'm getting advertisements for AI plugins to edit your photos.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's one thing if it learns how I do it, then it wouldn't be so bad. But I do I edit my photos in like cosplay batches. Like if I take 5 photos of you, I will edit that batch of 5 and then tweak as I go along and go to the next one. It's like putting like my personal branding on it, It's one thing if the AI plugin or software knows my defaults and applies it to all of that, and then I can just go in and just tweak whatever. That's more like a narrative, non-assistive AI. So that's not so bad, but I just
That's like what's the term I'm looking for? A script.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Script.
I mean, I do use that when I'm taking high ISO photos and there's a lot of noise. And by noise is when you take a picture and you see a lot of like dots in the black or a lot of dots in dark colors. That's noise. And I use like AI within Lightroom to kind of clean that up. And it works for the most part, so I'm okay with that. So there is that. Let's see, what else I did? Like I said, the event was fun and I had a great time. I did pick up my stuff from Mako-chan when we went to Zenkai. And again, every time I go to a convention, I walk through the dealer's room, I'm like, I shouldn't be in here. There is nothing that this dealer's hall has. And sometimes there is something. Like when I was at AAC, I found the Ranma Sao Tome figure. The Ranma figures, the male Ranma figures had not come out when I was in Japan, so fair enough. I did find this one figurine from Data Alive. Well, I had to get her. It's Toka Yatogami, one of the main girls from the harem anime, in a maid outfit with cat ears. So I had to have it. So I got that. And there was a figure of Oscar Langley in a school uniform in like an chibi, not in like a normal figure size. And I was like, I wanted that. But it was already gone when I went back to get it. And it was on Amazon for like $100. But I found it around normal price on eBay. So I think next month which is in a few hours, I may just pull the trigger and grab that. So there is that. Let's see what else is there. I think that's it for me for my weekend day for the most part. Oh yeah. So some of you who know, I play Borderlands 3 with Kuro Hikari-chan on Mondays, and we're about to switch to Tiny Tina's Wonderlands in a few weeks because we're going through the DLC. And unfortunately, she had an emergency surgery done where they pulled out her gallbladder and they found a stone that was basically a hole in one. So here's something interesting. We were talking Sunday while I was doing laundry, and she's staying with her mom for a few days. And she's like, I guess, she's really close with her family. So she kind of realized that it was good to be back with her mom for a few days and letting her mom toil and dote over her and stuff like that. And she basically said that I'm her little asshole. And I'm just like, yeah, she's like, I know I'm complaining about this, and that, but she calls me her little asshole. And I'm just like, that's because she loves you. And we're talking, and I said, well, if it's any consideration, Mako-chan's mom calls her little hemorrhoid, so y'all kind of like one and the same.
Yeah, I get called a hemorrhoid because I'm a pain in the ass.
Yeah, so if Kuro Hikari-chan is the asshole, that means you stand next to her poking her because you're the hemorrhoid.
That's kind of gross.
Yeah, it is kind of gross, dude.
But it works.
I mean, I get it, but
yeah.
Ew.
Okay, anywho, let's get into some housekeeping notes here. Episodes of our podcast is available on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Anime Jam Session. Video episodes are available Thursdays at 12 noon. Our next convention is Castle Point Anime Convention, which is actually in a month. It's in Secaucus, New Jersey at the Meadowlands Expo Center. Just so you know, there are no discounts on the hotels, and the cheap hotel that's there, I highly recommend that you do not stay there because the people that run that hotel are basically, if you're not one of them, you're not going to get the best service in the world. Plus, early check-in is like $100, so screw that noise. It is I'm looking at the wrong calendar here. Oh, here we go. It is April 25th to the 26th, so definitely check that out. Also, I want to say that for those of you who don't know, today, March 31st, is National Trans Day of Visibility. Some of you may have noticed that we have flipped over our pride flag to the trans flag. Everybody here on the show has trans friends and family that we look out for and we do our best to take care of. And I just want to say to our trans friends, family, and fans, you're seen, you are worthy, and we're glad you're here, and we will protect you at all costs. Now, let's get into some, as Eminem would say, controversy. All right. So, over the weekend, a famous cosplayer by the name of Stella Chu was interviewed on a podcast. I do not remember the name of this podcast, nor do I actually give a damn what the name of the podcast is. But if I actually pull it up on a search page, it's called Inkwells. Now, it's not the first time cosplayers, big or small, get interviewed by other shows and stuff. We've done it in the past. But we kind of toe the line. And if we cross the line, we do it in a joking sense. And we generally let the cosplayers know in advance so they know how to play off of it. That way they're not caught off guard. I did not watch the full interview, but I just caught the part where Stella Chu basically said that competing in Saturday cosplay masquerades is a waste of time. And that a cosplayer is better off making a bunch of videos on TikTok, monetizing them to make money. Now, there are a lot of cosplayers that want to hang her from a tree and beat her like a piñata. There are a lot of cosplayers who want to defend her. I kind of said my piece about it on Threads in response to a friend because I felt that people needed to stop speaking on her behalf, let the woman speak and say what she meant. And honestly enough, because of the backlash, Inkwell edited out that part of the conversation in the interview. Listen, I'm getting a little too old for this. I'm just going to say this. I spent basically 20 years cosplaying, maybe a bulk of that competing. I never felt that my Saturdays were a waste. I had fun hanging out in that green room. If we won, we won. Yay. If we lost, we lost. Yay. It didn't matter because most of us back there knew each other. And if we didn't, we all came out friends after that anyway. I do understand
you have fun doing it.
Yeah, I do understand the aspect of how your Saturday can be taken up by cosplay. I've seen it happen. Conventions big and small. But it's not really like that anymore. You can sign up for craftsmanship judging at a time slot. Go in, do what you gotta do, and you're out in 15 minutes. You can go change, do whatever. I do know that there's some cosplayers who are at the con putting the final touches on. It happens. You run out of time. But from what I have seen, I have never seen anyone really complain about it. Yes, they complain about the long time it takes for craftsmanship judging, but that's a lot of people. That's a given. But they're still fun. I have never heard anyone say that their Saturday was wasted. There's still a lot of fun in all of this. You don't have to do competition cosplay. You don't have to do that. You could just cosplay for the sake of it and have fun. Some conventions will have like a walk-on where you can just walk on just because. And do that. Don't let what somebody said take away from your love of the game. If you want to get up there and cosplay. If you want to ground up a bunch of friends together and do a skit, do that. If you want to show off your skill and talent and be judged by other people who've been in the game longer, do that too. Everything comes with a bit of positivity. I will say this. I believe it was Otakon 2011. Me and some friends, we did a panty and stocking skit. I was Gardabelt. It was triple digit weather. I'm walking around in a full 3-piece suit with Gardabelt's robes on top. Sweating my arse off because we were outside sometimes. I could have passed out, but I didn't. I didn't complain at all because I was here for the fun of it. I did not care if we won or lost. We won, but that's besides the point. We still did it, and I had fun, and I do not regret doing that.
People just want to look for any kind of reason to be angry at people.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Confrontation.
All I'm asking is Stella realizes what she said and just don't backpedal. Just be straight up about it. There are other famous cosplayers out there that have put their foot in their mouths purely by accident, have backpedaled, and then realized error their ways and just said something about it. Or just, instead of backpedaling, realized, holy crap, I said the wrong thing. Let me just put it out there and say what I meant and what I mean. You know, that happens. A lot of us have said things and it's come out wrong. We have to kind of like break it down. That's all it is. And that's it. And that's all I have to say about the controversy, because let's be real. In about 3 to 4 months, people are going to forget. Now that we got that out the way, let's get into tonight's story, shall we? Well, first things first, what we're going to talk about is something that we have kind of discussed on this show here and there. And it just kills, well, poor choice of words. It just sucks when we hear about stuff like this. So, Ari, please take it away.
Yeah, sure thing. On March 26th, a female employee was stabbed at the Pokémon Center mega store in Tokyo's Ikebukuro ward by a male assailant who then stabbed himself.
Ikebukuro. And
Ikebukuro?
Yes, and I have been to this Pokémon Center. It is huge.
Both were transported to the hospital unconscious, but were confirmed dead shortly thereafter. The incident occurred around 7:15 p.m. when a man was seen with a knife at the register. He approached a female store clerk at the counter and stabbed her multiple times before stabbing himself in the neck. Panic ensued as store shelves crashed to the floor. Eyewitnesses saying they heard screams and shouts of help both in Japanese and English as customers ran from the store and shouted for police. Police arrived within minutes, securing the scene after staff had ensured all customers had safely left the store. Investigators later confirmed the assailant had been carrying 2 knives and was known to police as he had been arrested in December last year on suspicion of violating the stalker regulation law. According to police, the victim was 21-year-old part-time worker Moe Harukawa of Hachioshi, Tokyo. Pardon me. The assailant, Taiki Hirokawa, 26, was her ex-boyfriend who had been issued with a restraining order in January following his arrest on suspicion of stalking Harukawa. These details bring to light the ongoing problems of stalking in Japan, where cases reached record highs last year and restraining orders topped 3,000 for the first time, with experts saying the problem is far worse than recorded due to underreporting. So yeah, it's pretty bad situation. And someone on this one program, Sunshine, it's revealed the police had advised Harukawa to change jobs. And one of the presenters on the program asked why is it on the victim to change where they live and work, pointing out that the costs would make it unfeasible in many cases.
In a way, I get that. I feel that the victim shouldn't have to switch jobs because of some asshat. But at the same time, I do understand why she should for the sake of her own safety. It just kind of feels like she's being stalked, but it's up to her to prevent herself from being stalked, But I do understand why she refused, because working there is her dream. And I think that's like a slap in the face, like, oh, I'm not going to let him stop me,
That and, this kind of attitude kind of, might lean into victim blaming a bit.
It's like it's sort of like if a teenager goes missing or something like that, something happened, and somebody shouts, "Where are the parents?" And you're just like, "Are you victim blaming?" Again, that question is a bit of a gray zone, but because you literally want to know where were the parents and all of this. Parents were out probably looking for the child, I do hope they throw the book at this bastard.
Yeah, me too.
Anywho,
I was under the impression that he then killed himself.
Oh, right, yes,
Yeah,
but
did.
still,
He did.
I just meant in general. Sorry.
Yeah, nobody should have to fear for somebody wanting to be around them more than, is wanted. People just know that no is a full sentence.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no more of no meaning yes, maybe, keep trying. No is not playing hard to get. No means absolutely no. And you just leave it at that and you move along. This reminds me of something that I saw earlier about it was a meme screenshot. This woman who did a vlog, she was talking about how guys aren't really coming up to women anymore. And it's
because they're understanding it no means no.
It's more than just that. I mean, a guy's gonna walk up and talk and flirt, and you're like, no, they back off. It's more of not just no meaning no. It's more like the fear of, well, she said I'm gonna go away because they don't want it turned on them. It's like, oh, I'll see you later. It's like that. It's a mix of both of those. I mean, yes, if you want to talk and chat, sure, but if you're just like, no, I'll see you later, take care. All right, let's get into our next story.
I'm going to have to pop out of here for the night, guys, because I got to be up early.
Sure, no problem, dude. You know how we do.
Day shift, yay.
but it pays the bills.
Mm-hmm. All right, I will talk to you guys later.
All right, man. You take care and
Later.
sleep well.
Bye.
Later. And now there was only 2. I have to say that monitor light is actually working out better for him.
Mm.
But let's get into our next story here about Ranma 1/2 Season 3. And I will tell you, I was legitimately worried that we weren't going to get a Season 3, even though the ratings were high enough to register it. It's like Season 1 dropped around October 2024. Season 2 dropped around this time last year. But Season 3 is dropping in October, sort of like how it did for Season 1. And I think because Rumiko Takahashi has another series starting up, I think this week or next week, called Mao. So there is that. So I am legit happy about that. The trailer is out on Netflix. It looks like Studio Mappa's budget has gotten higher. So I'm happy about that. Now, there was a bit of... I was a bit worried about something because when I saw the trailer, it said exclusively Netflix, which means it's stream locked. We're not going to see the physical releases. Granted, seasons 1 and 2 is available on Blu-ray in Japan, which I may have to get my hands on, for obvious reasons, because Viz hasn't done anything yet. But season 3 will be on the NTV channel, and then it'll be on Netflix right after the broadcast, which is cool. There is fan art, there's official art on the Ranma 1/2 website of Ranma and Ryoga about to swing at each other, and some have it's been compared to the intro to Street Fighter 4, where I believe it's Ken and Ryu about to punch each other. And for those of you who don't know, the fight scene is where Ryoga learns the Bakusai Tengetsu, which is the breaking point technique. That is the technique where he touches the rocks and makes them explode. So it's that arc, which we had wondered why we had not seen it yet, because it was supposed to be part of season 2. They skipped that, but after the final episode of season 2, that was put there, so we know something is definitely up. So those of you who are probably wondering when, it'll be October 4th on NTV in Japan when we will see Ranma 1/2 Season 3. And that is a Sunday, which means we will be seeing episodes of this on Sundays coming up, which for me, that is a great way to start my week. Let's see. Konosuke Uda is returning to direct the series. Most of the cast and staff will be back, which is really great. Yoshihiko Sato and Kosuke Kawamura are returning as the chief animation directors. Let's see. Another anime will be joining is Atsuko Ishida, who worked on the original Ranma 1/2 series back in 1989, which was great. So I'm really excited about that. Let's go. All right. Next up, we're kicking it over to Mako-chan with K-Pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, this actually started today. That McDonald's teamed up with K-Pop Demon Hunters. And they're doing a fan dueling meal.
Here we go.
So, it's dueling adult meals based on the film. So fans can choose between the Huntrix meal or the Saja Boys meal. The Saja Boys meal is only breakfast though. So if you want to do something and get both, you have to go in so that you can get breakfast and lunch. There is a 30-second commercial available to stream on YouTube. Basically, going back and forth to have the fans pick their favorite group based on the meal that is selected. So the Huntrix meal is a 10-piece chicken nugget, medium soft drink, and limited time menu item. Ramen, McShaker fries, hunter sauce, and demon sauce.
Yeah, some have
So
said it tastes like chicken ramen of sorts.
that doesn't surprise
Mhm.
me since all three of them are addicted to ramen.
Mm. I
So
mean,
having it be a ramen type seasoning does not surprise me
I mean,
at all.
to be fair, to be fair, if I didn't have a palate of Japanese food on my actual vacationing trip to Japan, I would have sat there and ate ramen every single day. It said screw everything else. I would have found a different spot to eat at every single day.
Okay, Naruto.
I'm just saying it. It just
Anyway.
hits better.
So the breakfast meal will include a spicy Saja McMuffin, hash browns, and a small soft drink. They are also offering the Derpy McFlurry.
Oh, no.
Each of the meals will also come with a collectible card pack with exclusive photo cards of both of the groups and Derpy. The Derpy access cards will include a QR code that leads to exclusive K-pop Demon Hunter content and a special reveal of which idol group wins the Battle of the Fans. It was also reported that the creators of K-pop Demon Hunters, Maggie Kang and Chris Applehan, signed an exclusive 5-year deal with Netflix worth $10 million annually between the two creators. They are also reportedly securing a cut of the revenue for merchandise sales based on K-pop Demon Hunters and its sequels. So yeah, it's also said that Sony Pictures Animation also saw a restructuring of its contract with the streaming giant, and the animation studio is receiving nearly $40 million for the sequel, plus a retroactive adjustment for the first film and merchandise participation. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. Basically, what it looks like is this 5-year $10 million deal is going to be 5 years because it could potentially take up to 4 years for them to finish the sequel. So this gives Netflix the time to make all the money that they need to and want to on the first film and whatever merch comes out, and into the sequel and whatever comes out for that, before anybody else gets a hand into the series as a whole.
I just find it amusing that Sony was like, "Hey, Netflix, come here. So we got this movie here, K-pop Demon Hunters. We ain't feeling this, so you can have this for like $200, Netflix. Okay, here's 500. Keep the change." Sony's going, suckers. And then a few weeks later, when it hits those numbers, Sony's like, what? And they're knocking at the door. Hey, Netflix, can we talk?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, hey, we didn't realize this was gonna do so well. So we want to renegotiate, and we want you to pay us what you really should have paid us.
And Netflix is like, what's that? Can't hear you over the money that's being printed.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, now that I think about it, your Batmaru does look like a K-pop boy.
It is technically a K-pop boy.
All right, so we didn't mention it, so tell them about your Batsmaru.
Yeah, so meeting up at Zenkai-Con, Kurohikari-chan gifted me with Batsmaru. This particular Batsmaru is a part of a series of 5 that came out that Sanrio did of their characters as K-pop figures. So it's just based on K-pop, not necessarily based on, any particular series or group. It's just, generalized K-pop. Batsmaru happened to be one of them because every K-pop group has that bad boy.
And it's
Yeah.
and it's interesting that when she went to get it, she asked me, "Does Mako have this one?" And I was like, "I could tell you right now, she doesn't have this one." And she went, "She does now." All right. Speaking of like Ranma 1/2, we're gonna kind of kick it back to some old school because we just found out that we got some more information about the new Magic Knight Rayearth anime, and I kind of hope that they bring back the opening theme because it is kind of it is hella iconic. Like Moonlight Densetsu is iconic to Sailor Moon. Let me pop this up here. There we go. So, the reboot series is going to premiere in October. So, there is that. There are key visuals that are available on the internet and on TMS's website. There is a trailer for Rayearth. For me, I know TMS because they did some really great cartoons back in the day. If you remember Bionic 6, and DuckTales, Rescue Rangers, all of those. Before it was taken over by Disney Animation Studios, it was TMS. So that's hella awesome. The things you learn when you pay attention to ending credits. So we have a brand new vocal cast. Hikaru will be voiced by Ayane Sakura, who was Ochako in My Hero Academia, which to me, that makes sense. I could see that. That makes sense. Umi will be voiced by Rumi Okubo, who is Nene Himakawa in Tune Into the Midnight Heart, and Fu will be voiced by Rie Takahashi, who is Megumin in Konosuba. Okay, that too also makes sense. That also works. So... And honestly, I did not watch the original series, so I'm looking forward to definitely checking this out. And for those of you who don't know, the goddesses of manga, Clamp, I think they're like, what, a 4-woman manga group or 5? I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. They drew the original Magic Knight Rayearth manga. It came out in 1993 to 1995, and the sequel series, Magic Knight Rayearth 2, that came out in 95 to 96. For those of you who don't know what the plot is behind it, as per Crunchyroll for the original anime series, it goes like this. Hikaru Shida, Umi Ryazaki, and Fu Hooji are from Sapporo. While on a school field trip to Tokyo Tower, the 3 girls' minds are on anything but different worlds filled with magic and wonder. That is until Princess Emerald, the Pillar of Sapporo, cries out for the Magic Knights to save her world, and that just happens to be those 3. So it's magical girl and also... What is that term when you get transported to another world? Isekai. It's magical girl isekai in a way, so that works. Maybe, depending on how popular it is, we might get a digital release of the original Magic Knight Rayearth RPG that came out for Sega Saturn years ago. That'd be kind of cool. Now, I'm going to kick things over to Mako-chan because it is now her fandom. For those of you who don't know, she loves herself some Silent Hill.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was announced that Silent Hill F is going to be getting a manga. So it is the halfway year anniversary of the release of Silent Hill F. And to celebrate the occasion, the manga adaptation was announced, notably featuring a new ending penned by the game's original writer.
Ooh.
Yeah. So artist Ame Gokin is going to be illustrating the adaptation and shared a teaser of the art for the upcoming series online. It is appropriately creepy. The series is going to run on the Young Ace Up platform, whose other titles include Skate the Infinity and This Summer Hikaru Died.
I've heard good things about The Summer Hikaru Died. And Skate the Infinity.
So have I.
And Skate the Infinity was really fun to watch.
So no release date has been set for the first issue, so keep a lookout for that to be coming up. Obviously, Silent Hill F is a horror genre type video game type series, and this one happens to take place in Japan, which does not tend to. So you get your typical foggy lands and the different puzzles and your various horrors, which are all basically playing to the psyche of the character. So yeah, this was announced on the official Silent Hill Twitter X account. So this is not a rumor or anything of that nature. It's just a matter of, watching out for it at this point.
And I just added The Summer Hikaru Died to my list of anime to watch. All right. And now we're going to get into our last story. This is something that I came across on Twitter. I will continue to call it Twitter until otherwise noted. Now, if you notice on Twitter, there's usually a side section called What's Happening. It's just trending stuff. I usually pay it no mind, but it says about Maid cafes. I'm like, you know what? I gotta check this shit out. So let me pull this up real quick because it was a trending topic. Excuse me. And there wasn't really an article per se, but the summary is there's a cafe. Now, in Japan, there's a cafe for almost everything you can think of. But what's interesting is this is a British cafe. It's called the Wonder Parlor Cafe, and it's in Ikebukuro, which is starting to become like Akihabara 2.0. Think of it like this. Akihabara, as you know, is like a little suburb of Tokyo. It's like a hangout district. Think of it like, I would say if you're from New York City, I'd say think of Ikebukuro as Chinatown, New York City. But maybe about 1.5 the size, give or take. Now, I would say Ikebukuro, it's for all intents and purposes for anime and so forth, Central Park. It's that big and that spread out. So this place called Wonder Parlor Cafe serves premium British teas, scones, and Victorian vibes through refined maid service. And they wear the classic maid outfits, if you remember from the manga or the anime Emma, Victorian romance. That style. Now, the person who runs the cafe made a post about rejections and over 13,000 likes and 400,000 views of international supporters, especially those from the UK, are all for this. They love the fact that it's a unique Japanese take on British culture. And fans are talking about visiting, praising the experience over typical Akihabara spots, and the cafe now has English menus and maps to welcome them. And the Twitter account says that this is from like a few days ago when I first saw it. I reached out to many overseas travel agencies that cater to visitors to Japan, asking whether they would consider including our cafe as part of their Japan sightseeing itineraries. Unfortunately, every single agency gave essentially the same response. Why would anyone come all the way to Japan just to visit a British-style Maid cafe? At the very least, you should be serving Japanese tea, lol. So please, especially if you're from the UK or another country abroad, come visit our cafe. Now, I am going to post a link to how the maids are dressed, and I think it's really nice. So, no, this is not a logo. Go. All right, let me see if it'll pop up. There we go. It's kind of huge, but that's what they're wearing. Now, these so-called travel places, they don't know their clientele that well. Those of you who don't remember, I went to a plus-size Maid cafe, and I had a great time. And I said for years, if I make it to Japan, I am going to go there. And I did. Now, also in Japan, there is a district in Osaka called Amerikamura. It is Japan's take on America and New York City. Half of my friends from here that go to Japan go there, and they have a great time. Listen, I will gladly go somewhere, if I'm in Japan, to go to a cafe or a neighborhood or something like that has its own spin on something that I like. If there was like a neighborhood or district just for J rap and J hip hop, I would go. I absolutely love Japan's spin on the rap and hip hop culture. I would gladly go to this Maid cafe. It is on my list. I want to check this out. And I got to tell my friend Rachel, who is a British file of sorts, and be like, you have to go here and check it out. So there is that. And yes, like I said, it is on my list to visit, and I will take pictures and I will check that out. I even tweeted back 3 days ago saying that I will come visit in November. So there is that. And I'm looking at some of the tweets going back to this account. Here is one. I hope you don't take this the wrong way. I wish your business does well and brings much happiness to everyone that visits. But I do have one question to ask. Do you hire femboys? I don't see why they shouldn't. So, the fact that they have English signage and menus, so this is going to be quite interesting experience. So I'm going to continue diving down on this tweet. I'm already following them, so I simply can't wait. This is going to be honestly hella fun for me. So, and here's another tweet that I see here about it. I was avoiding maid cafes in Japan, so I went to a more Victorian subdued one like this, and I'm glad I waited. Really prefer the more simple and maid-like behavior without the over-the-top cutesy stuff. Now, I've gone to maid cafe. I've gone to the at-home maid cafe, and I can understand the whole cutesy stuff, you know? When I was at Shangri-La Maid Cafe, it was a nice maid cafe, but I kind of had a more of a home / bar kind of feel, because they did have adult beverages, but I still had a great time. Not every maid cafe is cutesy like that. Some of them have different levels of it. I say go for it, and I'm definitely going for it when I go. So, and I'm kind of glad they're getting all this fame and popularity, and I am wishing this cafe the very best. All right, now that we got that out the way, we're gonna get into the part of the show that y'all really like to stick around for. Meanwhile, in Japan, since we're only doing like 2 stories here, Mako-chan gets first pick.
I really don't care.
All right, I had to pull stuff from last week because a couple of the stories I was just like, I think that was a little bit too much just for me. Like, Christ, where did you find these?
What?
All right.
It's not my fault that we have gone beyond having to read about masturbatory aids. So which one do you want?
Listen, there is a quote for this. To paraphrase Dr. Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park, your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should. So you, Mako-chan, you were so preoccupied with the fact that whether or not you could, it didn't stop to think if you should.
Oh, I definitely should.
Oh, God. Just terrible. TRBL terrible. All right, I am going to take the last story.
Really? I figured you would take the second one.
I think it kind of pushes my boundaries just a scotch, but I might just because we have the time.
All right, well, I'm going to take the first one then.
Of course you're going to take the first one.
I thought it was hilarious.
That's why I figured you'd
of
take the
course.
first one.
So yeah, for those that don't remember what the mascot of the World Expo 2025 looked like, it's basically a cellular stew. It is blue with red eyes and bulbous circles and spheres around a creepy smile, the rest of which is somewhat humanoid looking. But yeah, so just like other celebrities in Japan, it was decided that Miyaku needed to be a tease and create a modeling book. So people have probably seen these books. It's not exactly adult content. It's basically just, idols in, revealing clothing, provocative poses. Sometimes idol singers do this before they get famous. Sometimes they end up doing this after they've gotten famous. Well, it was decided that Miyaku needed to have their own book. This book is entitled I Miyaku You. And I want to point out that this is listed as their first photo book. So I guess keep an eye out for potential sequels.
Oh, good Lord.
But this book, they're saying, was created when Myaku took a 2-night trip to Okinawa to frolic on the island's abundant beaches in soft focus. The GUI mascot worked very hard during the expo, so this book represents a rare glimpse of it really letting its plasma down and relaxing. Myaku described making the book as a lot of fun and said it would like to try as many different things as possible. It wasn't without its challenges too, however. The mascot said it had to practice to make sure all of its eyes were open in the pictures, which makes sense when you think about just how many eyes this thing actually has. Yeah. So basically, this is set to release on the 13th of April. It will be selling for a little bit under 4,000 yen, about $25, from the Felicimo online shop, the official Expo 2025 online shop, and the Expo sections of Maruzen and Junkudo bookstores. And each book comes with one of 5 special photo cards of Myaku in a sensual yet playful pose. Yeah, so anybody that happens to be into this particularly creepy, cute mascot, open up your wallets so that you too can have a person wearing a mascot outfit doing boudoir.
And they offer international shipping.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Obviously, Japan.
Oh, God.
Really and truly, did you have to ask who would have thought? Just one word, Japan.
All right. So we're going to get into our second story. And then I'm probably going to do our next story after that because it's kind of connected if you think about it. Yeah.
In one way, I guess.
Yes. It seems that Japan's Ministry of Economy is reminding people to use sound judgment before buying toilet paper. Now, social media is a great way for governments to disseminate information to the masses. It's the best way to get the information out there. There's always great tips about how to find nice graffiti and turning a plastic bottle into a drink dispenser. So, the Ministry of Economy, Trade, and Industry has tweeted something you should take notice. Regarding the distribution of toilet paper in light of the situation in Iran and other matters, toilet paper is almost entirely produced domestically. The raw materials are domestically collected, recycled paper and pulp with almost no dependence on the Middle East, so there will be no direct impact. There is also sufficient capacity to increase production, so we ask that you use sound judgment based on accurate information before buying any. In other words, we make enough toilet paper, we can make more, but don't buy more than what you actually need. And they're doing this because in some parts of Japan, stock in toilet paper has been disappearing. Now, we all know when there is a crisis, what do we do? Toilet paper, milk, eggs. It's what we do. Even though I think it's a little crazy, but it is what it is. Now, when it comes to Japan, the reason why they do it goes back to the oil crisis in 1973 at a single supermarket in Osaka. During those times, the global economy was upended when Middle Eastern oil-producing countries put out an embargo on countries that supported Israel and Japan. This turned into mass shortages of oil and skyrocketing prices. Now, during all of this, Japan was doing a lot of construction, urbanization, and people were still using pit toilets. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go ahead and Google that.
Or not.
Yeah. I've actually think in my last travel, I've come across a couple of pit toilets. Now, there are people who live in modern parts of the country like Senri Newtown, one of the most state-of-the-art of neighborhoods in Japan, as part of the spirit of the upcoming 1970 Osaka Expo. Flush toilets were a standard, but still a new concept, very prone to clogging if the wrong things were sent down. But when the oil crisis first hit, these people were still focused on the toilet paper in particular. They were more concerned about the prices of everything skyrocketing due to the rapidly rising cost of logistics. So in the days leading up to October 31st, 1973, the Daimaru Peacock Supermarket and Senri Newtown announced they would be having a sale that day, selling 4 packs of toilet paper of rolls for 138 yen apiece, down from the regular price of 200 yen. God, those were the days. Such a discount on a daily necessity in the face of soaring prices brought every single housewife within a mile radius to buy this. It was more than what Peacock expected, and they sold out basically instantly. They had to bring out other toilet paper that sold for the regular price of 200 yen. Crazy. The spectacle of this, of people buying all this toilet paper, it got caught wind of the media, and by the time someone from the Mainichi Shimbun got down there to check it out, they only saw regular price toilet paper on the shelves. As such, they reported as if people were hoarding toilet paper merely as a result of the oil crisis rather than pouncing on a really good sale. Whether it was a misunderstanding or it was done intentionally to make it a sensational article, we don't know. But the angle of this oil shock helped the story spread, and it became national news in due time. People were hearing about this, began feeling as if it could happen there, it could happen where they live. So, across the country, people started buying toilet paper and securing, thinking that there wasn't going to be any more. Thus, the great toilet paper panicking buying of 1973. The hysteria got so chaotic, so large, it became international news, and those of you who remember Johnny Carson made a joke about it on The Tonight Show that year. And let's just say that joke triggered this country into hoarding toilet paper. He didn't apologize for it, but still. But the truth is, neither country was in danger of running out. You got temporary shortages, but manufacturers never had any issues churning out more. But this whole issue of the psychosis has already been planted into the Japanese people, and from time to time, when it looks like things are about to take a turn for the worse, start buying toilet paper. Granted, I think you should buy canned food, but as we all saw during the COVID-19 pandemic, one of the first things that ran out, toilet paper. Personally, I didn't worry about that because I think I had like a 20-pack sitting in my one of my cabinets at my old place, so I wasn't worried. It was either a 20-pack or a 12. But now, as we look down the barrel of an even nastier oil shock, toilet paper is again becoming the canary in our economic coal mine. As the ministry pointed out, there's no issue with the supply, but social media people had other things to say. I'm buying it now because prices are going up April 1st. I think the factories are mostly use natural gas now, but what if it stops too? You should probably put this info on the TV where all the old people who were around in 1973 can see it. People need to hear this. Today I saw 4 elderly people with 18 rolls each at the drugstore. Wow. That is wild. And as Cedarberry says, if you need it in the US, just buy in bulk from Who Gives a Crap. Well played. If I had a bell, I'd ring it. And no, the people who made these comments were kind of correct about that. So even the ministry was cautious about their wording, saying things like almost and no direct impact, and recognizing the fact that this current oil crisis will certainly affect prices at the very least. But the important thing to remember is that this will basically affect everything, not just toilet paper. So the ministry advice is sound that we should take a deep breath and think carefully about how much toilet paper we buy, because mainly we should probably buy lots of other stuff too before the cost of everything really starts popping off. Yeah, I think stocking your shelves with canned goods, non-perishables, medical stuff, thin toilet paper. No. Thank you, Mako-chan, for virtually ringing the bell.
Ding, 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 ding.
Just turtable, I tell you. Let's take a look at this other story here. So, this other story here kind of ties together with crap, with toilet paper, with poo. Moth poo.
Ew.
So, Hakoba Craft Sake Brewery and Fukushima Prefecture has created something. They created a craft sake. And one of the ingredients in this sake is insect poop. This special sake is made by fermenting rice with chuhicha, a tea developed by a researcher at Kyoto University Graduate School. Now, the tea contains the feces of moth larvae that has eaten plant leaves. How about that? This interplay between insects and plants creates tea with various flavors, aromas, and colors depending on the plant-insect combination. This tea in the sake draws upon the combination of Oshima cherry blossoms and Luna moth. Oshima is a sakura species native to Japan's Izu Islands and coastal areas, which is said to impart the aroma of a cherry blossom. The sake is called Secret Spring, and as the secret ingredient is essentially a digested and fermented plant ingredient. So, yeah. This batch has the scent of cherry blossoms and is said to spread throughout the palate for your very first sip, which is a surprising result for moth poo. According to Hakoba, they say the delicious flavor of rice intertwines with the sakura in a complex way, creating an indescribable taste you won't find in other sakes. Yeah, indescribable. And there's two variants you can get, regular and barrel-aged. The former being a more tea-forward offering sold through their official online store, and the latter more complex whiskey-like notes sold through partner retailers. Each 500 milliliter bottle is priced at 3,300 yen, which is $20.66. Yeah. And Bonzo6 says, is that the island people that worship Mothra? I have no clue, but I'm mildly curious. The island worships Mothra. Now that would be Infant Island, not Inzu Island. Close enough. I'm just glad I don't have to poo. But even if I did, I end up ordering my normal amount of toilet paper. Thank God for Amazon overnight shipping. Anywho, I think it's time to go.
I agree.
So, if you like tonight's show, tell a friend. They in turn will tell another friend, and so on and so forth. We're independent bloggers, independent podcasters. So what we like and don't like, we're telling you straight up. So if you have any questions about the show, please drop us a line at podcast@animejamsession.com. Again, that is podcast@animejamsession.com. We're here to believe you. Please check out our website at animejamsession.com, where you will find not just our weekly podcast, you will find anime reviews, cosplay tips and tricks, cosplay reviews, you will find editorials, links to our YouTube and Facebook page of cosplay and convention coverage. All that and a lot more at animejamsession.com. Please subscribe to our podcast if you have not already. We are available on any podcasting platform that's out there. And if we're on one that you use and you're just listening to another, let us know. We'll try to get on that platform too. And if you like us and you don't want to send an email, please give us a review, 5 stars, or whatever you feel. We really appreciate every little bit for all of this. You can also find us on social media, Anime Jam Session on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Blue Sky. And to all of our friends that follow us there, thank you so much. We really appreciate you all. Ooh, excuse me. And down below is our tip jar. If you're still participating with us live, there are direct links to our Streamlabs, Stream Elements, and our Ko-Fi for, if you want to throw some money our direct way. You can also, share a song with bits. We appreciate that too. And you can also sub to the channel and give out gift subs. So we really appreciate all that all together. So now we're going to go around the room. Last words, Mako-chan.
I had to ask my mom when Easter was, and was very, very surprised when she said, "It's Sunday, you idiot." Yeah, I had completely lost track of all that time. So yeah.
My last words. Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can finish my leftover dinner and then put stuff away, because I was adulting and I bought a decent brush for my drink canisters. So yeah, it was a video I saw about what happens if you don't clean them properly, and I thought I did. So there's that. So anywho, end of list. That is it. We're getting out of here. We're done for tonight, and we'll be back next week with a brand new episode. So I'm Ranma.
And I am Mako-chan.
Great fight, great night. See you next week.
Good night.
Say goodnight, Mako-chan.
Good night, Mako-chan.
Perfect. Awesome. That was extra cheery. We're getting out of here. See you all next week.
This podcast has been a production of Anime Jam Session and AJS Productions. No fanboys and fangirls were hurt, maimed, shot, electrocuted, or pistol whipped in this episode. For now. The views, opinions, and thoughts expressed on this show do not reflect the staff or the network as a whole. But we're still right, damn it. For transcripts of this episode, start typing. Check us out at animejamsession.com and vognetwork.com for more information about us and other programming. Jamatane!